Hello, and welcome to Thoughts from the Green Room with your host, Jeff Mays. This week's topic is on being in the moment. So I went out with a friend this week and we sat down over a coffee and we spent a couple hours chatting about what we might do and how we might collaborate, and we were just shooting the shit, if you will. And we came across this idea about how artists live in the moment. And we had commented on the idea that artists often, surprisingly actually, artists don't actually always live in the moment, because we see something that's interesting to us, that's happening right then and there, and we start thinking about how we can translate that to share it to other people. What do we have to do to bring this moment back to life for a performance, for a painting, for a story, whatever it might be? And it was kind of an interesting idea because we're talking about artists always needing to be in the moment, and we're often out of the moment because we're thinking about how it can help us do our art. In contrast to this, I brought up the idea that people who aren't artists are often much more in the moment. Now, I want to qualify that. They may be conscious, but it's probably more likely that they're not consciously in the moment. It's just the fact that they're living it without thinking about how it's going to affect them later. An example that I used when I was talking to my friend was the idea that a person sitting in a mailroom and a bunch of mail falls on one of their colleagues, they're going to find this humorous and they're going to laugh and enjoy the moment. And maybe later that night they might go home and tell their wife or their partner about the funny story that happened at work today. And the sole purpose of that is a little bit of sharing to help brighten some humor. The exact same story with me as an actor or as any other artist may be. And again, this isn't a guarantee, but I see the mail fall on my colleague, and I'm laughing and I'm enjoying the moment. I start thinking about, hey, this is a good comedy sketch. How would I bring this back to life for my stage show next week? Or if I'm a writer, I might think, oh, that piece in the book that I was thinking about, this is perfect for it. You start to try and capture all the little details. And because you're working on capturing those details, you're actually pulling yourself out of the moment. Now, the second thought that came out of this was the idea that one of the reasons why we as artists step out of the moment and non-creative individuals stay in the moment is we have an expectation as artists on what we share. We expect that what we share has an impact on others when we're an artist, and we often look for how this funny mailroom moment that I use as an example is going to affect somebody if I share it, versus the non-creative who sees this, who simply shares because it's a funny story. So at dinner with his wife, with his partner, oh, guess what happened to me at work? And there's no expectation on what's being shared. It's just a story to tell. But as an artist, I've got the expectation of impacting somebody with it. All of this comes back around to this idea of how much do I live my moments? Can I live my moment fully and then reflect on it later to get the outcome? Or do I only partially live my moment because I'm too busy trying to pull out of it right away to get some sort of expectation when I share it later, whether it be in a story that I tell or whether it be because I put it on stage? I think you get the idea. And that, of course, will bring us, ladies and gentlemen, to your challenge for this week. Try to be conscious this week. And in that consciousness, what we're looking to achieve, or what you're looking to achieve, is the idea of living your moments. Recognize what's happening to you and appreciate them with consciousness rather than unconsciousness. If you're an artist of any form, try to live the moment without looking for the story or the picture or whatever it is you're going to do with your art with it until after the fact. Come back and reflect secondary. Don't break your moments. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, there are your thoughts from the Green Room. I will see you again in 1 week.